Hey, Algebra 2, so this is for Poly 6, so let's take a look at these. A lot of these you've done some of this stuff before, which is great. Alright, so notice we have the F's, so that's going to go with that equation, and then the G's go with this equation. So if I plug 3 in, that's 3 squared, that's 9, that's 18. If I plug negative 3 in, it's still going to be 18 because the negative becomes positive. If I plug 10 in, it becomes negative, so that becomes negative 18. If I plug negative 12 in, that's going to become 12 minus 8, which is 4. I'm not big on filling these in, so let's go down here. All right. So if I want to add these equations together, I'm going to get x squared plus x plus 2, and that's all we have to do. There's nothing more to it. On this one, if I'm going to subtract them, I'm going to get x squared minus x plus 2. Distribute the negative, so minus x minus 2. If I'm going to multiply them together, I'm going to get x squared times x plus 2. Distribute the x squared, so you get x to the third plus 2x squared. On this one, I'm going to take negative 3 and plug it into f, so that's going to give me 9. This is going to give me 9, so 9 times 3. And then g at negative 10, take negative 10, plug it in, so I get negative 8, so plus negative 8. So that's 27 minus 8, which is 19. Now I'm going to plug a function into it. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to replace that. So this is going to become x plus 2 quantity squared. You can multiply that out by foiling it. So it's going to give you this. And then I'm going to take this equation and I'm going to plug it in here. So that's going to give me x squared plus 2. Now we want to figure out g at 2, so we're going to work from the inside. So I'm going to go 2 plus 2 is 4. I'm going to plug 4 into that. 4 squared is 16. Now I want to take negative 5 and plug it in there, and that's 25. Plug it into the x, so 25 plus 2 is 27. A little smaller. Can I squeeze them all in there? That's all I have. I think we can plug this in, so you just have to follow along on your worksheet. Alright, so if I want to add g and x together, I'm going to get x minus 1 plus 2x minus 3. So that's going to give me 3x minus 4. H at x, which is 2x minus 3, minus g at x. So notice I put it in parentheses, distribute the negative here and here. So 2x minus x is 1x, or just x. 3 plus 1, negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2. We're going to multiply g, this, and h at x, which is this. So just FOIL them together, so that's going to give you 2x squared minus 3x minus 2x plus 3. So this is going to wind up being negative 5x in the middle. If I want to take f at x, negative x squared, multiply with h at x, distribute it over, distribute the negative, so I'm going to get negative 2x to the third plus positive 3x squared. Now I want to take negative 3 and plug it in. Negative 3 plugged in, that's going to give me negative 9 with a negative outside. Plug 5 in, so I'm going to get negative 6. And then minus 2, that's 4, minus 3 is 1, so minus 1. So that's going to give me negative 16. I'm going to plug 3 in for that, so 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 squared is 4. Plug 5 in to the f, so that's going to give me minus 25 because of the negative out front. If I plug 8 in, that's going to give me 16 minus 3, which is 13. So that's going to give me negative 12 plus 4 is negative 8. Now I'm gonna take g at x, plug it into f, so I'm gonna plug it in there. So I get negative x minus 1 quantity squared. You could FOIL that and distribute the negative if you wanted to. Now I'm gonna take f, and I'm gonna plug it in here. So that's just gonna give me negative x squared minus 1. If I take g at x and plug it in, g at x is that, and I plug it into here for h. So that's going to be 2x minus 1 minus 3 if you distribute and multiply. If I take h at x and plug it into g at x, so I'm going to take this and it's going to go in there. So I'm going to wind up with 2x squared, or 2x minus 3 minus 1 because there's minus 1 on that, so 2x minus 4. And then you can double check the ones later with your teacher. Alright, I'll work out the odds on this one. This is your worksheet. I might give you all of them. So h at x is 5x plus 1 added to f at x, which is this. So that's basically it. I should have had the 2x squared in front, but that's okay. F at x, which is 2x squared, minus h at x. Just make sure you distribute the negative because you're subtracting it. F at x minus this function, so f at x is going to be 2x squared minus 5x squared minus 8x plus 4 because I distributed the negative over that. So that's going to give me negative 3x squared minus 8x plus 4. Alright, I know I said I was going to do just the odds, but I got carried away, I guess. F at x, which is 2x squared, g at x is 1/2 x minus 4. If you distribute that over, the half cancels the 2, so I'm going to get x to the third minus 8x squared. Number 7, I'm going to take f at x, 2x, I'm going to plug it into the g, so I'm going to plug that into there. So I'm going to get half 2x squared minus 4. So half cancels out, so I get x squared minus 4. If I plug a function back into itself, it means I'm going to take 2x squared and plug it back into the x on the 2x squared. So I'm going to get 2 and 2x squared squared, which that's going to give me 4x to the fourth, so that's 8x to the fourth if I multiply it out. For problem number 11, I'm going to take g and I'm going to plug it into f, so I'm going to plug 2 in first. So half of 2 is 1, 1 minus 4 is negative 3. Plug it in there, that's going to wind up giving me 18. I'm going to do h at negative 3, so that's going to give me negative 15 plus 1 is negative 14. Plug negative 14 into g, so it's going to be 1/2 minus 4, so half of negative 14 is negative 7 minus 4, which is negative 11. R at x is this, so we want to find g r at x. So I'm going to plug r at x in there, so I'm going to get 1/2 4x minus 5 minus 4. There should have been x there. 17. Do that one in class. Okay. So let's take a look at Poly 7. This might be another day, so make sure you're staying up to what we're doing. Divide using long division. So do that on a calculator. I mean, how that would have been set up originally was 4 into. But let's take a look at dividing these. Okay, so there is a long division process that's going to work, and I actually have to make this a little bit larger so we can focus on it. So this one basically would be like doing 15y to the 5th minus 6y to the 4th plus 18y to the 3rd all over 3y squared. So 3 goes into 5, or 15 3 times, or 5 times. Tug of war, I get y to the 3rd. 3 goes into negative 6, negative 2 times. Tug of war with the y's, I get y to the 2nd. 3 goes into 18 6 times. Tug of war with the y's, so we get y. Okay, same thing on this one. I'm going to go x to the 4th plus 10x to the 3rd plus 16x squared. Divide everything by 2x squared. 2 doesn't go into the first one, so that's not going to happen. Tug of war with the x's, I'm going to get x squared. And this will be over 2. And then on this one, 2 goes into 10 5 times, tug of war with the x's, so you just get x. 2 goes into 16 8 times, tug of war with the x's, and they cancel each other out. All right, so that's simple with that. But if we had wanted to divide, this is kind of the process of division with it, which looks a little nasty, but let's see if we can make it work for us. All right, so let's take a look at this number 4. So I'm going to go n minus 2 into n to the third. Okay, notice I'm missing a squared term, so I'm going to put 0n squared minus 9n plus 4. Okay, so when you start on this, I have 2 terms here, so I'm going to start over on the second term. So what times n gives me n to the third? And that'd be n squared. N squared times n is n to the third. N squared times negative 2 is negative 2n squared. When we subtract this, what I need to make sure is I'm going to make that a plus, minus, and a plus. So those cancel. That's going to give me 2n squared minus 9n. I'm only bringing down another term to have 2 terms. So what multiplies to give me, what do I multiply n to get 2n squared? That's going to be 2n. 2n times n is 2n squared. 2n times negative 2 is negative 4n. And then when we subtract these, we're going to change this to a plus, make that a minus, make that a plus. Those cancel. That's going to give you negative 5n plus 4. What do you have to multiply times n in order to make it negative 5n? That would be a negative 5. Negative 5 times n is negative 5n. Negative 5 times negative 2 is positive 10. We're going to subtract these, so remember I'm going to make that a plus, plus, minus. Those cancel, so I wind up with negative 6. And so basically, your answer to this is n squared plus 2n minus 5, which we have on top, minus 6 over n minus 2. So that whole thing is the answer. Kind of scary, but if you go slowly through it, you can comprehend it. Okay, so let's take a look at this next one. So I'm going to go x squared minus 1 divided into x to the third plus 9x squared plus 0x, because I don't have it up there, minus 7. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over 2 terms. What times x to the second gives me x to the third, and that's going to be x. So that's x to the third minus 1x. So notice I kind of jumped over that, and that's okay. So if I subtract this, remember I'm going to change this to a plus, minus, and that'll be a plus 1x. So this cancels. This comes straight down. And then 0 plus 1x is 1x. Okay, so what do I have to multiply x squared by to get 9x squared? And that's going to be plus 9. So 9 times x squared is 9x squared. 9 times negative 1 is negative 9. So I have that. So I'm going to go plus, minus, plus. So those cancel. The 1x has to come down. And then negative 7 added to 9 is plus 2. I can't go any further because I can't multiply something by x squared to get 1x. So my answer to this is x plus 9 plus x plus 2 over our divisor, x squared minus 1. So that whole thing's the answer. Ooh, a little freaky, huh? A little scary. It's okay. We can handle it. Take your time. Don't panic. It's just math. Not going to hurt you, I promise. All right, so let's take a look at this example. So I'm going to divide 9x plus 2 into 9x to the third plus 56x squared plus 75x plus 20. We don't have any gaps, so we didn't have to put any zeros in there. Okay, so we're coming over 2 terms because that's what we have here. what times 9x gives me 9x to the third, and that's going to be x squared. That's going to give me 9x to the third, and then plus 2x squared. Remember, we're subtracting these. When we subtract, we make that plus, minus, and minus. Those cancel. That's going to give me 54x squared plus 75x. Oops. Okay, so what times 9x gives me 54x? And that's going to give me 6x. So 6x times 9x is 54x squared. 6x times 2 is 12x. If I subtract this, make that a plus, minus, and a minus. Those cancel. So that's going to give me, let's see, 75 minus 12 is 63x. Bring down this 20. So what do I have to multiply times 9x to get 63x? And that's going to be 7. 7 times 9x is 63x. 7 times 2 is 14. Again, we're going to subtract those. So I need to make sure I change that to plus, minus, minus. Those cancel. That's going to give me a 6. So my answer to this is going to be x squared plus 6x plus 7 minus, or plus 6 over our divisor to 9x plus 2. Ooh, kind of goofy stuff, huh? Alright, so this is the homework, and we'll take a look at the odds. If you need the others, make sure you talk to your teacher. So it looks like 5 goes into everything. So 5 goes into 36 times. Tug of war with the x's, I get x to the 4th. Minus 5 goes into 15 times, or 15 3 times. Tug of war with the x's, I get x squared. 5 goes into 48 times. Tug of war with the x to the 4th, they cancel. So this one can be done the same way. So I'm just going to make it like this. 9 goes into everything. So 9 goes to 9 once. Tug of war with the y, so I get y to the 3rd. Minus 2y squared plus 3y, and we're done. So we have to, let me clear that, and let's move down. All right, number 5. Now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of it. All right, so I'm going to x plus 2 into x squared minus 4x minus 19. So I'm going to come over 2 terms. What times x gives me x squared? And that'd be x. X times x is x squared. X times 2 is 2x. If I subtract this, I'm going to go plus, minus, minus. That's going to give me negative 6x minus 19. What times x gives me negative 6x? And that would be negative 6. So that's negative 6x minus 12. So remember, we're subtracting, but we're going to change that to plus, plus, and plus. Those cancel, and that gives me negative 7. So my answer is x minus 6 minus 7 over x plus 2. And we're done. Let's take a look at number 7. So I'm going to divide 5y minus 2 into 10y to the 3rd plus 6y squared minus 9y plus 10. All right, move over 2 terms. What times 5y gives me 10y to the 3rd? That's going to be 2y squared. So that's 10y to the 3rd minus 4y squared. That's plus, minus, plus. Those cancel, so that's going to give me 10y squared minus 9y. Bring this next term down. What times 5y gives me 10y squared? And that's going to give me 2y. So that's going to give me 10y squared minus 4y. So subtract those. Again, make that plus, minus, plus. Those cancel. That's going to give me negative 5y. Bring this 10 down. What times 5y gives me negative 5y? And that'll be negative 1. So I'm going to get negative 5y plus 2. So if I subtract those, plus plus minus, so that's going to give me 8 for an answer down there. So my answer to that is 2y squared plus 2y minus 1 plus 8 over our divisor, which is 5y minus 2. And we're all done. All right, let's take a look at number 9. Divide x plus 2 into x to the third plus 4x squared plus x minus 6. We don't have any gaps, so come over 2 terms. What times x gives me x to the third, and that's x squared. So that's x to the third plus, oh, I forgot the squared there, didn't I? 2x squared. I'm going to subtract these, so make sure I change that to those signs. Those cancel. That's 2x squared. Bring this down. Plus x. What times x gives me 2x squared, and that's going to be plus 2x. So those cancel. That's going to give me negative 3x. Bring this last 6 down. So what times x gives me negative 3x, and that's negative 3. So that's negative 3x minus 6. Oh, something's going to happen here when I subtract these. Plus, plus, plus. Everything cancels. So yeah, so that divided all the way out. That's cool. All right. Work on these ones in class. Ask your teacher about those. See how those go. Poly 8, we're now going to start something called synthetic division. I'm actually kind of, this you could read through, I could read it to you, but don't worry about it. We're going to come over here, we're going to make these a little bit simpler. So the nice thing is if you're dividing by a simple binomial, meaning you have like x plus 2 or x plus 6 or x minus 3, this is called synthetic division. So what would make this 0? And that would be negative 2. So I'm going to bring negative 2 over here. I'm going to make this upside down exaggerated L. And I know I have a 1 out here, so there's 1 there. That's a positive 5. That's a negative 9. And that's a negative 45. Notice I did not put any of the x's. I don't have any holes in it, and that's fine. So first step of doing this 1 comes straight down. 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. Add straight down. That's now 3. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Add straight down. That's negative 15. Negative 15 times negative 2 is positive 30. Add straight down. That's going to give me negative 15. We started with x to the third, so my answer is going to have x to the second. So I'm going to have x to the second here plus x plus 15 plus my original divisor, and it's done. Synthetic division is nice and friendly. So on this one, remember, what makes this 0? That's going to be negative 3. So I'm going to go negative 3. I'm going to take my lead coefficients. I have to put a 0 because I don't have a x term, so I'm going to put a 0 as a placeholder. This comes straight down, that's 2. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Add straight down, that gives me 1. 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. Add straight down, that's negative 3. Negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. Add straight down, I get to 4. This was x to the third, so this will be x to the second. And then I'm going to go 4 over x plus 3. That's all you have to do with it. It's like, why didn't you teach us this in the beginning? Well, I wasn't dividing just by a simple thing. So this only works when you're dividing by a simple binomial, okay? So I'm pretty sure you could take care of those next two without any problems. And try this, I'll do the odds. All right, we're doing synthetic division on the first one. So that's going to be a 1, upside down L, 1, negative 2, 2, 5. Bring the 1 down. 1 times 1 is 1. Add straight down. That's negative 1. Negative 1 times that. Bring it straight down. That was x to the third. Now this is x to the second. divided by x minus 6, or x minus 1. There you go. Simple, simple. Divide by negative 2 because the opposite of that. Upside down L, I have 1, negative 2, 0, 8. 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. Add straight down. That's going to give me negative 4. That's going to give me positive 8. Add straight down. It gives me 8. 8 times negative 2 is negative 16. That's going to give me negative 8. So that's going to be x squared, x plus negative 8 over x plus 2. We're all done. We'll come over here and do this one. We're going to divide by negative 1. I get 1, negative 2, 2, and 5, no holes. Straight down, 1 times negative 1 is negative 1, straight down, negative 3 times 1 is 3, straight down, add 5 times, that's negative 5, straight down, got a 0. That's cool. So this is x squared minus 3x plus 5, and this one doesn't have the remainder because it became 0. And this one I'll divide by 3. I have a 1, I don't have an x squared, I don't have an x, I have that negative 27. Straight down, that's 3. 3 times 3 is 9. Straight down, that is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. Straight down, that's going to give me 27. That's going to give me, what, 81? And then that's, can't do it in my head, sorry. Did I do it all right? I'm looking real quick. 3. Oh, I made a mistake. Duh. That's a 1. Let's try that again. 0, 0, x to the second x minus 27. The 1 comes straight down. 1 times 3 is 3. Bring that straight down. That's 3. 3 times 3 is 9. Bring that straight down. That's 9. 9 times 3 is 27. We get a 0. So my answer is going to be x squared plus 3x plus 9. Look at that. We don't have a remainder because we have a 0 at that last term. Yay! The rest of these are pretty simple. Just keep an eye on it in your class. Same thing with synthetic division. It goes quick. Let's see what these are. All right. The quotient above a quadratic that 12, that can be factored. Okay, graph it. Okay, so this I'm going to tell you has a y-intercept of 0, 20. Graph it. How am I going to graph that? So I know that my graph is going to look something like this. So it's negative left to positive right. I mean, it's going to negative infinity on the left and going to positive infinity on the right. Okay, so I'm going to have to see about this. The one thing I do know is that if this is up here at 0, 20 and we count it by 2's in the y, this is kind of what it looks like, or something like this. I don't know exactly, but let's check in class, see what you do with that. All right, this is your Poly Prep quiz. Okay, so we'll work all these out so make sure you have the opportunity you can ask questions. So the degree of this, I have x to the first, x to the first, x to the second, so that's 4. Leading coefficient of this will be positive. Is it even or odd? I don't know yet. I'm not sure where they are. It's, because it's x to the 4th, it's going to do this and do this. And let's find our intercept. So I'm going to get 3, 0. I'm going to get negative 2, 0. And I'm going to get 1, 0. This will be a cross. This will be a cross. And this is going to be a bounce. So I get 3, 0 here. I get negative 2, 0 here, and I get 1, 0 here. The y-intercept, if I plug 0 in, that's negative 3, 2, negative 1 squared is 1, so that's going to give me negative 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down here. Okay, it's going to look like a W. So we have here that's a cross, here's a bounce here, and here's a cross. All right, so this is going to come down here, it's going to come up, bounce, and go back up. And that's basically what our graph's going to look like. Okay. I don't know what they're asking, the even or odd yet. It's not something we covered, this is review. All right, so this particular one, it's degree 3. It's already factored out. We have that. Even or odd. Oh, I guess maybe that's an odd number. I guess we could say that. I don't know. So this is going to look something like this when we graph it. So it's down to the left, up to the right. Factored form, we can factor it by grouping, so I'm going to bring an x squared out, and that leaves me x plus 3. Factor a negative 1 out, and that's x minus 3. So my factored form is going to be x plus 3. And then I have x squared minus 1, which is x plus 1, and x minus 1. Okay, so the x-intercepts are going to be negative 3, 0, negative 1, 0, and 1, 0. And these are all crossings, okay? Because all of I didn't have any exponents there. So I'm going to get negative 3, 0, which is here, negative 1, 0, which is here, 1, 0 is here, and it's crossing, so it's doing this. Oh, we get a y-intercept. Y-intercept is always going to be this if it's taken all out, so 0, negative 3. So we're down here, so it's going to come up, come down, come up, like that. That's what our graph is going to look like. Alright, we're just going to go through and add these functions as appropriate. F at x plus h at x, so I'm going to get x plus 2 plus 2x minus 7, so that's 3x minus 5, done. H at x is 2x minus 7, minus f at x, so that's minus x minus 2 because I distribute the negative, so that's going to give me x minus 9. If I find g at negative 2, that's going to give me a negative 8, plug negative 8 into this, and that's going to give me a negative 6. If I take f at x and plug it into h at x, I'm going to wind up with 2 minus 7, and I'm going to plug x plus 2 in. So that's going to give me 2x plus 4 minus 7, so that's minus 3. And it's all done. Alright, so I'm going to take f at x and plug it into g at x, so that's going to give me negative 2 quantity squared, so I'm going to have x plus 2. When you FOIL it out, you'd be fine. I would personally accept it being like that. G at x, if I plug it into h at x, so that's going to give me 2 minus 7, so I'm going to plug negative 2x squared in. I guess you can make that negative 4x squared minus 7 and you'd be good. H at 3, I'm going to plug 3 in there, so 2 times 3 is 6, 6 minus 7 is negative 1, plug negative 1 into that, negative 1 plus 2 is 1. If h at x is equal to 21, what is x equal to? So I'm going to go 2x minus 7 is equal to 21, add 7, divided by 2, so 14 is your answer. So it's asking us to use synthetic division on these. So I'm going to divide by 2, because you remember set that equals 0. I get 1, 6, negative 4, negative 24. Bring the 1 straight down. 1 times 2 is 2. straight down, that's 8. 8 times 2 is 16. Bring that straight down, that's 12. 12 times 2 is 24. I get a 0, so that's x squared plus 8x plus 12. Cool, that worked out nicely. X1 I'm going to divide by -3. I got 2. I got a 0 because I don't have an x third. Minus 5, 4, and -2. Bring the 2 straight down, that's going to give me -6. Straight down, that's -6. That's 18. Straight down, that's going to give me 13. That's going to give me -39. Straight down is going to give me -35. That's positive 105, I think. That's going to give me 103. So this is x to the third minus 6x squared plus 13x minus 35 plus 103 over x plus 3. This is going to be done the same. Let's see. If problem number 5 has a remainder of 0, then x minus 2 is a factor of that, and f at 2, plug the f at 2 in. If problem 7 has a remainder of 0, then x plus 1 is a factor of that equation. And if you plug f at -1 in, you would be able to work that out. All right, so we'll do Poly 9 a different day. Have a great day. Take care.